Okay, thank you for that. At least we've seen those who have two left feet. But now to get us started, I'll invite our president. We have our VP around. So welcome on board to give us your opening remarks.
Thanks, James. Distinguished guests, presidents of various associations. One meeting, one gala dinner, Violet. Distinguished guests, presidents present. All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening once again. Mnataka kusema hamna nguvu ya kuongea juu ya njaa? Well, this has been one very, I think, successful convention. And I would like to applaud all the members who showed up virtually and physically. Let's give a round of applause to those who made this convention possible. Despite the challenges we had this year, which has been a very long year, I know we only have 1 month to go, but I believe, I'm not the only one who believes it's been a long year. It's been quite a long year. 3 things have stood out. We have exhibited resilience. We have also exhibited resolve. But at the same time, we've opened ourselves up for the possibility of renewal, whether it be how we live, how we work, and also how we socialize. So how we've been able to achieve those 3 R's is something which I believe is very commendable. And of course, there are the new terms we've become accustomed to. We have social distancing, we have Zoom. How many of you knew Zoom last year? None. Now everyone talks about Zoom. And we have e-learning. And of course, there's the one phrase which we learned today, digital nomads. I believe I'm not the only one. Arabu, you'll be the next digital nomad? Yes. So digital nomads, as told to us by Hitesh Mehta, is a phenomenon whereby you're able to live and literally work anywhere in the world. You don't have to be fixed to an office, a particular address. So Aweru, next time I want to hear you're working from a remote location in Turkana. And thank you. That's the way. But one thing which I would like to conclude with is that change is the very thing that's most constant in our lives. And as we move on and try and build up momentum to having an even better 2021, let's remember that we need to seek to adapt. We need to forge new partnerships like we did when we were coming up with the COVID handbook. We never knew about KHF, Kenya Healthcare Federation. We never knew the kind of interaction we would have with the counties and the ministry. That's what we call forging new partnerships. We need to be open to it. And as an association, as members, as professionals, let us also seek to stamp our place as the most distinguished and resilient professionals this country has seen. So kudos to all of you and have a lovely evening. Asanteni.
Well, thank you very much, VP. So in the interest of time, I'll invite us to have our dinner. We'll proceed to our respective dining places. Then we'll have our president give us her remarks. So kindly, let's have our dinner first.
Et les bonheurs récompensent le juste. Frères et chers des peuples, écoutez ma chanson. Champimongalo komi vipale boye, yo komi ezongo boye. Nasibi batouche ngana lingaka yo mingi. Nakomi kobeta baturka matina quartier na bino. Ba master quartier bakomi kotongonga na masolo. Soki naleki ye balobaka aleki ye. Rita bola mawa aleki ye. Aleki mawa akekotala champi. Nabaye, pourquoi ne sona yaka na kutaka na ngaka kayete champi mongala. Balobinga na tinga mayo pona mbongo. Balobinga na tinga mayo pona mbongo champi. Loba eloko ninango si osomelanga kome souvenir. Kolia na liaka sengai moko. Kolata pe na lataka sengai moko. Soki jipe mindia te ba master to wena sone. Nani mosusu uzokisi motema na ngai mama. Onini po baby sinzoto. Pona maloba ya Kinshasa Jean-Jacques Mutuale. Pona songi songi ya kini oyo Tonino Fernando. Norbert Misaka, Terrano Synthétique, Sarah Mamana Benito, Jean-Marie Moulin. Champi mangala mwana mabe, yamatola kisa aplike bolingo meminga na sama molili mwana ninga nezali.
The objective of studying literature in the Kenyan curriculum is to help the learners acquire moral values.
I'm the chairman of the Architectural Association of Kenya, SACCO Limited. I want to talk briefly about the SACCO. Our mission is to improve members' quality of life through financial empowerment and to make our SACCO a SACCO of choice for the members in the built environment. Our mission is to mobilize resources and invest those resources, provide financial services to our members. The milestones we have achieved so far, first of all, the society was registered in 1993, but in the year 2010, when I was vice chairman of the Architectural Association of Kenya, we agreed that level that we needed to revive this society, and the governing council of AAK appointed me to do that. So in the year 2010, we formed a committee, and the objective was to revive this society. We launched the SACCO in 2010. We formed a strong management team of 6 members, which has been working tirelessly to grow this SACCO. And I can tell you that we've really grown from nothing in terms of finances in the year 2010 to now close to 14 million shillings in savings and investment. We think this is a very tremendous growth. So the SACCO is a member of the governing council, and as chairman, I attend their monthly meetings. We got a young man, energetic man called Daniel Mutuku as our CEO. We call him marketing and administrative leader. I would like to invite members of the association to join us. I see that you're trying, but you're not trying enough. We want to have you, all of you, on board, particularly the governing council members.
The AAK SACCO has been giving out loans to its members, and we have 3 types of loans. We have the development loan, we have the emergency loan, and we have the refinancing loan. And all our loans attract interest of 1% on reducing balance. For one to qualify to be for a loan, they must be a member of the AAK circle for at least 6 months and have contributed continuously for 6 months. You can take up to a maximum of 3 times your savings, and you bring in your guarantors who will secure the loans, and it is easier than a financing institution or banks. Our turnaround time is very short. Within 7 days, your loan will be approved and disbursed.
We have 2 membership categories in AAK Circle. The first membership category is the individual membership, where you join as an individual. We also have the corporate membership, where the firm in the built environment industry joins. In both categories, you can borrow loans and service them and be a guarantor and even be guaranteed. We are looking forward to also have student membership, where we are joining students, and that will be coming, God willing, in the near future. For you to join as a member, you will fill in an application form, which is available on our website. We have a couple of activities also that we conduct over the course of the year. As usual, we have our annual general meetings, where members come and discuss matters that affect the circle and them as members. We also have webinars and education forums, where members are meant to learn to be taught and to learn about their privileges as members. And so we welcome you once more to join the circle. Asante sana.
naza nanga kaka na se ya nzete esika otikaki ngai sa mpengo ngai Grand Lac restaurant Schengen chez Balendoi Kodeko Bongwalanga bongo sana mbo lembaye bilango tona na ngobe sandoko zombi nazangi mayele yako sepelisa yote nalamukia batongo etana na kotisa mbaba nabukisa kilo gafle na maboko manga moko nabaki pungu misato mpona yebi olingaka banyama lwemba zwa pecha koyo nalakisi maloba ya bolingo alobelaka yo na sanse nanga ata kombole très fort les boss soki ex-lava moni pekisa tena mitema umbwa jami olava watareka eno ya pambesa karese ya loboko mbenga otinyolinga malobalobi na nako ya kotalanga mbatandelaka mokonzi topi ya rushi ya lopundu natandeli yo simisipe pantano na nga lwemba utana balabala tina ndako na ngai butambolela edoe Maître Israël Matone yobaleki ndinga zopaswa yoza vraiment na linia ya babibo shayo viva jibe mindia shilibolia atobombi elongi lokolo no pamba eza na vale ya parke ya virunga mbongola binanga na sekonde moko nanda maboko gigi makumbi Fredo Mopatibe Babi Sakamoto Kimontana sekonde Ilugoda Willy Tembela Jetrine Yanzaka na Edo Watota ya Giselle Couture nakosala nini kilwemba uboinga Jackie Watunda na José Kokolo nakosala nini kilwemba uboinga Jackie Longabato Martin Caprice fifi dekure bendakaki elamba na ngai ya fete ezala poso na yo ntango koya ekozala le plus grand festin
ne tombera jamais.
Caprice na yo dekure bendaka ngai elamba na ngai ya fete ezala poso na yo ntango koya ekozala le plus grand festin.
Dis que je t'aime. Sans toi, ma vie n'a pas de sens.
Na ligne ya bablibo joyeux Ousmane Kalouji atobongi elongi lokolo na pamba eza na vale ya pake ya biruba
Bazulu na bandana oyoka
mokolo mosusu ozongi na mini na kangi na foto ya mwasi natuni yo papa olobi ezali ya kusine na yo epurta nayebi ye ozalaka na bandeko basi te wana nyonso ozali kaka kotubleke
Amiral Tamba
mokolo mosusu nake na sandu nayoki posa na yo nalobi naleka na biro nakuti yo lisusu kaka na sekete
Yaja Matuno au-delà de la fortune.
mokolo mosusu nayoki mongongo ya mwasi natuni yo papa okosinga lisusu kaka direte
oyebaka susu basango azobosi vraiment
nakotuna nzambe mpona nini esalama ngoboye nakotuna nzambe mpona nini esalama ngoboye nakotuna nzambe mpona nini esalama boye
oza danse oyebaka ozala mystique
mokolo lwembakendeki mobembo shaki musawe osali nyonso naza na yango nakosala nini kilwemba okolinga
Kais Shadi
nakosala nini kilwemba okolinga ngilema bakala mase
Regine Mwekatoni
bolingo ekotelanga verle nzala ekami otungisa batilombo tokatika mbasa balwa ye balobi okotelanga yipumu mpona koma tutu kokanakatwa kiotama
omoinanga ezotambola na makilama yo makala ya bosangole nalukasa basi ministre lobi nini na souffrance ya binanga model mabanga
Guilhem Mundabi
nakosala nini kilwemba okoinga
le bonheur des uns fait les malheurs des autres.
Shiko Mawatu kamulela ngai gitare yoko zongisa ngai esika bapimelaka nga na mobili si je savais ça Bali Trading
bolingo somisomi lolango na epe basusu ngai kwekende lokola liso kolekanya we zongisa amomanga na congilate okolo yo kozonga otia yango na mikro belisa ngai mingi te okolia ngai
wana okolia ngai malamu
basuwa lolango na epa basusu ngai konzete ya mbila yoyoyo mbemwelekelaka wapi
mbo bango bazwaka na mangato na bafeti somisomi tokoluka ngai biso zelaka se ya nzambe po apesaka temple boni okopesanga mangamo besu papa basi bakanoli ye si je savais ça Amicie maison Achille Vanamwanga basuwa o bomengo na eba basusue ngai konzete ya pondu o aokotikinga na zemi monoko ekosenga tondolo na poko ekoluka ngai litonge papa kozangisa te weya l'internet de Yaoundé nakokufeliwe ya ngongi ya nyoka babete balembete nanya mibomba se mpona yesu toyoka te o ebele bamibomba kaka se mpo ya bolingo je savais ça avo manoka tabala otombongo Roger Mila, la fierté d'Afrique. Silko Chabani, Pigeon à Londres. Son Excellence, Didier Mou. Bazoua, Lolango na eba basusue, ngai konzete ya mbila yo. Api, obanga ngato na bafeti, somi dokoluka ngai. Biso zelaka se ya nzambe, po apesaka temple. Boni okopesanga mangamo besu papa, si bakanoli ye, je savais ça. Son Excellence Ndombasi Bazua Libenga na eba bazuzwe ngai konzete ya pondu arokotikinga na ze monoko ekosenga ntondolo na poko ekoluka ngai litonge papa kozangisa te Dani nakokufaliwa ya ngungi ya nyoka babete balembete nanya miboma se mpona yesu toyoka te o ebele bamiboma kaka se mpo ya bolingo si je savais ça Chimita moyebimaka se mpo ya moto nyonso basusu bakoprofitela ngango liboka ya moningo somelango kwanga soki ozala mwana espoir madesizio nazelaka yo na nzela ya zano na misa na yo nakomi baba ada bombole momema kwama kin fret service na London Bodako changement de fréquence bokoleka wapi nazokisima na kamati position badeception epananga mbala misato eleki mbeka nazoki kimomba na pasi nazokisima misato eleki mbeka nasukiawa okoleka wapi nazokisima na kamati position badeception epananga mbala misato eleki mbeka nazokisima l'infinitif Didi Kinwani Pepe Masaka boutique Wilma classique na Kampala Maison Romy Léa Daniel Ludovic Kumba Sami Matoko Bashanja Kapunda na katikati ya Ebalete
I hope everyone is enjoying themselves. Hello. So I'd like to invite our president, Architect Mugure, for her speech. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I know we're eating, but salamu is for free, yes? All right, so now there are no formal, speeches. All I want to say is, can you hear me? All I really want to say is just thank you to everybody who has attended this convention. In very unusual times, we appreciate you for being here. We do not take it for granted. And I do hope that these sessions held yesterday and today have been beneficial for all. I also just want, I know there'll be a vote of thanks later, but I do just want to thank everyone who has been involved in making this event a success. From the governing council members to the AAK secretariat, our partners we work together closely with, APRM, Team Terracotta, and really all the partners who have come today as well. Let's just give everybody a quick round of applause. Asanteni, thank you so much. I also just want, earlier in the day, I'd have liked to do this, but our schedule did not allow. If I can just ask everybody just to listen for a moment. We can just listen for a moment. Well, this year, yes, we have celebrated our successes, but we have also had losses, especially among our membership. And I just want to acknowledge those members we have lost. Then I'll ask just where you are seated. We just have a moment of silence for them. We lost George Omoro Mukaya of KWS. We lost Richard Hughes. He was a founding member of AAK. We lost QS Adam Marjan, founding member who served as Honsec for 18 years and was a trustee of the association. We also lost engineer IB Patel, another founding member of AAK. We lost architect Cyrus Gashira Thairo of Integral Planning, who made a substantial contribution to the built environment. We lost architect Maina Getudo of State Department of Public Works. We remember him fondly. And we also lost from within quite close in our circles, Madam Elizabeth Mulondo, a long-serving member of the staff of AAK. And at one point, she held the secretariat on her own back in the 80s. Her daughter, Akwansavea Patience Mulondo, also serves in the chapter council. We want to just take a moment. Let's take a moment of silence. Remember all these AAK members and legends. Members, a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Okay, so I also want us just to take a moment. Again, we were in an unusual year. AAK is a member of the East African Institute of Architects, of course, together with other associations in the East African region. This year, the mantle of leadership of the East African Institute of Architects did pass over to the Architectural Association of Kenya, the Architects chapter. And I'll just want to recognize our EIA Council members because we typically have this, we were supposed to host them in Kilifi this year and do the formal handover, but we never got a chance to. So I'd like to take a moment just to ask those EIA Council members to join me on stage. I'll recognize them even if they're not here. And in the Board of Practice and Ethics, we have Marilyn Musimi, who serves as our Hon Secretary at AAK as well. In the Board of Education, we have Nicolas Onyango. If he's here, just come forward. I think I'd seen him yesterday, but if he's here, just come forward. Council Member of EIA, George Arabu, please join us on stage. We have the Treasurer of the EIA, Hamwe Songa, please join us on stage. The Secretary General, Martin Tyro. I don't believe he's with us, but I would like to acknowledge him. And then we do have the President of the East African Institute of Architects. For the next year is our own Architects Chapter Chair, Architect Florence Nyole. Please join us on stage. Arabu, karibu. Okay, so members, while this is not the formal ceremony, we want to acknowledge you for taking over the mantle of leadership of the East African Institute of Architects. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Okay, even as we do so, the tradition in EAIA is actually to hand over the medal from one president to the other. And in lieu of the EIA former president handing this over to you, you'll allow me to hand that over to you. Is that okay? Okay. Florence, just come forward. Let's acknowledge and appreciate the incoming, actually she's been EIA president for about a month or so. Let's acknowledge and appreciate Actor Florence Nyole, new president of the East African Institute of Architects. Makofi na vigelegele. I'll just ask the president of EIA just to say a few words as we acknowledge her. Karibu.
All right, good evening, everyone. It's lovely to be here and to be taking over the mantle of leadership at the East African Institute of Architects. And I wish to appreciate all of you for the support. A lot of the members in this room have been, serious council members, and they've done a lot of stuff out there. And we are riding on the work that they already did. Past President, our current President Mugure, Vice President Mugambi, and Alex Nyaga, very many of you who've been supporting us. So thank you very much. We carry on the work that was begun. It's a very good year for us, and we're supposed to pull off a few things. So in that period of time, we hope we'll be able to bring together the East African countries, and at the same time be able to do what we need to do in order to increase cross-border practice, and even much more to support each other in making sure that the businesses we run are profitable. So thank you, everyone, and thank you to the council members who are here and the support that we have, and we look forward to a very eventful year. We hope we'll be able to actually host the EAIA in the next convention. We're trying to switch things up a little bit. So thank you very much, and thank you for the acknowledgement, and we look forward to a wonderful year. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam President. Okay, thank you very much for those words, Florence. So I think with no further ado, this is the last time you will hear from me. You can sigh a collective sigh of relief. Um, but before I go, I want to welcome our guest speaker. We were to be joined this evening by the governor. Unfortunately, he was not able to join us today, but of course was with us yesterday. We are going to hear from somebody who is no stranger to AAK. He's a past president of AAK, but today we have asked him to speak in his current role as the vice chair of the board of the National Construction Authority. Let's give a round of applause to Awero Gadesha to come and give us a few words. Karibu Awero. The cowboy approaches. Let me disinfect it for you.
Thank you, President Magore. Good evening, everyone. I obviously took this cowboy theme too seriously. It appears I'm the only one. But this is genuine leather. This hat is 17 years old and it's never been washed. President of AAK, President East Africa Institute of Architects, all protocols observed. Good evening. Let me start by saying, first of all, I am no longer the vice chair of NCA. I used to be. NCA is dynamic. You can be the vice chair, you can be the chair, and you cannot be the chair. But I'm still in the board. So I'm a simple board member. I'm the chair of the technical committee of the Board of National Construction Authority. I'm speaking here on behalf of our chair, who attended this convention, but was unable to make it to this function. I've been asked to speak about National Construction Authority, and so I'll try and restrict myself to that. How much time do I have? Magore, how much time do I have? 5 minutes. Okay. I presume we all know National Construction Authority and what we do. Basically, we do three things. We are the registrar of contractors, so we register contractors, just like your EBK, your Borax, we are that for contractors. We do quality assurance, you can call it compliance. We try and make sure that construction is happening in the way it should happen. And then we do capacity building, training, et cetera, for contractors, trying to upskill them and ensure that they are improving their capacity to deliver the construction that we desire. As I said, I chair the technical committee, so I can speak about many things with regard to the key operational areas of NCA. Today, I wish to speak about two things only, and we don't have a Q&A session. I wish we did, because you know, if you know me and you know my life in AAK, I play hard, but I also work hard. I'm quite passionate about NCA and the stuff that we do. I'm going to speak about professionals and their relationship, about foreign contractors and local content, capacity building of our local contractors. Let me start with an easy subject, which you may all know, and maybe some of you are victims of being suspended or debarred or blocked from registering your projects with NCA. Very simply, if you are hiring out, and now I'm speaking to you professionals, if you are hiring out your signature, your stamp, your registration as an engineer, as a QS, as an architect, and you're doing that to make 5,000 shillings per stamp, per signature, per nonsense, you are no longer welcome in NCA or in NCA system. I'm saying that because that's what we're doing. And we're doing that because we've seen a lot of malpractice and professional conduct in the field, okay? Anybody who's in that category knows that they cannot approach NCA anymore. What I do know for a fact is that we are supported by the professional associations, the AAK, IQSK, IEK. It simply does not stand to anybody's sense, understanding anything, to explain to me how you have the capacity to do 100 projects in a calendar year, 12 months. Let me be a bit coarse. I say to you, go to hell, okay? Now, if you are able to do 100 projects in a calendar year, then please demonstrate that to your registration board. Once they tell us, and it's clear to everybody that you have a capacity to do 100 projects or anything over 30 projects in a calendar year, we have no problem. We'll reinstate you into our system. But until such time, there are many people who are making a mockery of the things that you profess, you as professionals. I have sat in many inquiries on collapsed buildings and situations that are uncomfortable in construction. In December, I met an engineer, fully registered, EBK, IEK, everything. In the calendar year 2019, he had 450 plus jobs through the NCA online project registration system. I think you'll agree with me that's nonsense, eh? There's an architect in Mombasa, fully registered. He went to University of Nairobi, graduated in 1990. Between 2018, 2019, somewhere there, he had over 600 projects across the country. He is a one-man operation. He has an office no bigger than 4 by 4 meters. He goes to nobody's site. He's never done a drawing. And yet, he's trying to explain to us that he has capacity to do those projects. As I said, go to hell. Anyway, I say this, and I say this honestly, and I'm quite serious about this. We ask for your support. We ask for your cooperation. These are the people who are messing with our profession, with our industry. I am asking the registration boards, Borax, EBK, let's fight this war together. Do not feel that we've slighted you by taking these people off our system. We're not saying that they cannot practice. Of course they can practice. But what they cannot do is pretend to the rest of us, to the world, that they have capacity to do projects, yet we know they are guns for hire. I could speak about that for another 3 days, but I'll leave that there. I said I'll speak about the next subject. Local content. We all know what is happening. Globalization is what it is. We all know that we are architects of record in many situations. There's, plenty of people interested in practicing in Kenya. We cannot resist market forces. We cannot resist the option of the buyer of services or whatever it is. But we also must protect our industry. We are training students every day. We must protect the knowledge base that we have, and we must grow it. So what is local content? Local content is saying that whatever work is being done in Kenya, some of it must be done by Kenyans. If we don't do that, then Architect Abonyo, you retire, there's no point training anybody else because there'll be no work for them. Now, I said we're the registrar of contractors. In the NCA regulations of 2014, you will find there's a whole section on registration of contractors. There's particular focus on how we register foreign contractors. I say 2014 regulations. I have seen in the media people saying NCA has written new regulations or is implementing new laws. No, 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 no. These are 2014 regulations. What has happened is the board that is in office right now decided from the new registration window of 2019, 1st of July, we have 3-year registration windows. Every 3 years, each contractor must re-register. From 1st of July 2019, the current board decided each contractor as a register afresh. If you're a foreign contractor, you will register project to project. Why do we say that? It is in the law anyway. We are just implementing what was there. It had been held in abeyance or suspended or whatever it is. It means if you're a foreign contractor, of course, go and find work. But each project you get, you come and you register afresh. We give you registration per project. As we do that, we make sure that you have demonstrated to us that you've subcontracted no less than 30% of the total value of those works to a local Kenyan contractor. We make sure that you have demonstrated to us a skills transfer framework. You are required to transfer skills, not of shifting soil or planting grass, skills not available locally. That is what it says in those regulations. That is the reason why we are requesting registration per project. Everything we are doing is within the law. Each time you have a project, 10 billion shillings, doesn't matter what value, you approach with an application for registration before you get your compliance certificate. Demonstrate to us that you have taken those steps. Show us that you have subcontracted 30% of the value of works. How else are we going to build the capacity of a Kenyan contractor? Where are the Mogoyas of today, of the 21st century? If I asked you, name 3 big local indigenous contractors who are doing projects, road projects or railway projects or any project really, you will struggle. I am telling you about this because I am asking, again, for your support as the professionals out there. Help us, alert us, spread this knowledge, okay? I had hoped NCA would have had exhibited at the convention the last few days, because this is where we'd be sharing this information. Doesn't matter. It is out there. We are able to discuss this in much more detail. We're available. I'm a disciple of that gospel. I'm happy to discuss it with anybody who has any questions on understanding, meaning, law, whatever it is. We need to grow this country. We need to be serious about the things that we do, the professions that we profess to practice, and those who are players in construction industry. President, I think my 5 minutes are over. I'm sorry I've gone serious. I'm still the same person, so I can also joke, but there are things that we must be serious about, we must be passionate about, and we can't afford to joke about these things because we are watching our bacon being stolen and we're doing nothing about it. The reason why we gather here is to have a good time, it's to exchange ideas, to fraternize, to do many things. But we are also fairly serious people. We were being told by Senator today that we should play the role in society that we are assigned to play. We are professionals, we are regulated persons. All of you have been to university for many years. Why should you be of no consequence in society? And with that message, I wish you a good evening. My time has run out. If anybody wants to have a laugh and a giggle with me, I'm also available. I work hard, but I also play hard. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, everyone.
Maybe a round of applause again for the architect Waweru. So in the interest of time, just a request. Now I want to present a challenge to each table. We will be announcing the results at the end of the session. For each table, I want you to nominate the best dressed person, an individual for each table. So to continue with the session, I'll invite the architects. Yes, the selection will identify the winners at the end of the session. So maybe I'll now invite Architect Arabu to talk to us about the AAK Floods Response Task Force. In response to the whole flooding situation in the country, AAK set up a task force to guide us to sort of formulate some guidelines to ensure that our communities sort of mitigate or are able to manage the situation during the flooding situation. So welcome, Architect Arabu. Arabu, welcome. Yes. Unfortunately, we won't be presenting. They're having a technical hitch. So you'll just highlight.
We can do an online presentation with the webinar. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can do an online presentation with the webinar and yeah, those things. Because if this thing is not working, I don't think we can do it. Just ask them. Can they project? Can they project from a... Yes. Yeah. Let's ask them if they can do that.
The thing is even things. Okay, can that thing after it be posted online? Because you see, there's no point on me. Want to know them because the judges are fixed. So if they can post it online after, okay, that's fine. So I just need to know what. It doesn't have to be streamed. That's what the president said. If you're able to stream it, then let me just stream it live right now. It's cool. I don't know them. Intentionally avoided because it was the judges who had announced it. That video of the judge saying the winner.
Hey,
What is it?
you're just looking. Yeah.
But don't so pacify me. My president is doing both. So what do you do? What do we do now? Do I go ahead and say it's going to be streamed right now? That is fine. So it cannot be projected there, but it can be streamed. So after, as soon as I say it will be streamed, it will go live.
Tunakusikia kwa live.
President of do we have a whip? Do we have a whip in the room, James? I can barely hear myself, and I'm using a mic because the Fafa is too loud. Past President Waweru, all other presidents in the House, past and present, ladies and gentlemen. My name is George Arabu. I like to put architect at the end of my name. And I'm the vice chair of the architects chapter. And of course, now I'm continuing. Here in my capacity as the and I'm here to just mention to you the task force was formed by the president because amidst all the problems of 2020, and you had sadly the president read here a very long list of colleagues we've lost this year. I think this year has been usual suspect problems in this country, like adverse weather, have been going on. So amidst all the noise of COVID, amidst all the mess, the politics in the US and our politics and everything else, the usual annual floods, the usual Serikali's idea clip on news has happened. And within a period of 1 month, over 250 Kenyans lost their lives because of the floods. The current projection is that we're going to start having floods as from Monday in places like Nairobi, for example. Lakes, very many lakes in the Rift Valley have risen levels, displacing very many people around. Now, the question is, what is the place of the built environment professionals? As built environment professionals, I just need to remind you this. When, after the floods, usually it happens about 2 weeks, and then the water recedes and the people go back to their homes. The biggest job that happens is the one of reconstruction. So believe it or not, Red Cross, which is one of the agencies that is involved in the reconstruction, reconstructs tens of thousands of houses every year following floods. And we are glad in the task force to have Red Cross as one of our partners. And what we noticed was that a presentation they gave to us, they came very nice slides with house types of what they are using to reconstruct. And they gave us the budget. All right, so a budget just under 200,000 Kenya shillings, about 150,000 Kenya shillings, to build a house of 30 square meters thereabouts. This is the typical house that is built all over the country as a form of reconstruction. Now, when we asked whether they were using professionals, they say they don't, because they cannot afford it. Professionals are too expensive. They are all crammed up in Nairobi, and those people out of Nairobi, they do it themselves. 2017 government statistics, out of every 10 buildings you see, only 2 of them have professionals. And this is in Nairobi. Chances are if you go outside Nairobi, maybe 1. Okay? So they are either the fact that we are aloof, or maybe we don't imagine that we can actually be involved, or we don't think that designing a hut or a house in a rural area is not our mandate. Maybe our job is to do high-rise buildings in Nairobi. Unfortunately for us, we got to the realization that if we do not involve ourselves, our people keep suffering. The biggest loss during a flooding is the loss of livelihoods and homes. Okay, so the water comes, carries away everything in the house, plants, animals, and food storage. Now, for 1 week, people have to be housed in temporary shelters on higher ground. So, as a task force, our mandate is very simple. How we as professionals, do we have a place? Can we take up the challenge of being able to help these people reconstruct? And we have come up with the 3 wide scopes: short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Short-term, we have been doing house types. So we've currently done a design, a competition, an ideas competition, which will be streamed live immediately as I stop speaking, of the winners of that particular competition, which is based on a house type that can be resilient in a flood. Okay, there's one of the main questions was members were asking, why can people move away? Why do they have to build where flooding is happening? This is why. Most of these people do not have a place to go. Most of these people cannot afford to move from where the flood is happening. And in most cases, these floods don't happen. They happen in such a way that sometimes it can take 5 years before that same location floods again. So people can be living there very comfortably. The only challenge is this. This is not unique. Okay, there are villages in Nigeria where people live on water permanently throughout their lives. All right? There are villages where living on water is a lifestyle. If you hear about Budalangis, for example, the Tana River Delta area, the consistent story of people being flooded and losing animals and household goods and everything is something that we as professionals can mitigate. The medium-term goals of this task force is to develop sector plans that are resilient to floods as well as critical infrastructure. This involves some very basic things like a bridge that connects a village and a school. And most of you have seen this in memes, in news, of children crossing using a pole to go to school because the bridge was carried away. Now, the long-term goals of the task force is to develop policies that can inform bylaws in the various counties to be able to, in the long term, plan how houses and settlements can work along riverbanks that usually have the habit of bursting lakes that usually rise, and then places which are low-lying like Aheros, the Budalangis, the Tana River areas that are usually having issues of high waters. I want to invite you, and this is an appeal to you. We, as a task force, intentionally decided we are not going to ask for corporate support. We are not going to go to our usual traditional corporate supporters and ask for funds. We have a budget, and we need to use this as an opportunity for us as professionals to be able to be seen to be doing something. I want to invite you also to imagine a situation where we as professionals will go to the villages and be able to start showing what we can do. I keep going to my village, and every time I meet someone, they call me engineer. They have no clue what an architect is, and if I tell them I'm an architect, they call me architecture. So the question is, how do we go to the villages? How do we get involved? So what we have decided to do is this. We want you guys to help us to execute the mandate of this task force. We have a budget of about 1.5 million to help us develop the various designs and do some prototypes on site. So we have a plan come next year. We have 3 sites in Budalangi, in Baringo, and Tana River to do scaled prototypes of the solutions that we have received from you members who entered that contest. And that will be the beginning of the actual work we will do on site. We have already received a donation of 210,000 from members, and we are asking you to feel free. We will share this information following this convention of how you are going to support this task force. It is a big deal CSR, and for me, I think it's the best way that we can infiltrate the quacks and the fundis who are basically doing our jobs. Because the reason why those people are using them is because they don't know who we are. They have no clue that you, engineer who's sitting here, could actually go back to your village and sit for 1 week and design for them a pole bridge that could save lives. They have no idea that you, who's working in Nairobi in a big office, could actually go and design for them a 30 square meter house that even if it floods, it can turn into a Noah's Ark. Or they can just have a boat. They can go to the market, buy a boat. They don't have to lose all their sofa sets and TVs and everything just because it's flooded. So it is an invitation, it's an appeal, and it's a challenge that we've been given by Red Cross. We've been given by other partners like KDA that we're working with, that we need to get engaged. So I am going to ask our technical team now, as I'm leaving, to please stream the winners. Since we're having a technical hitch, we might not be able to see them here. But if you go online to the link, those of you who are here who took part in the contest, the winners will be announced. We are going to share a clip. There will be a brief session of the jury explaining the rationale behind their decision, and then the winners will be announced. But please note that everyone who took part, no information will go to waste. We are developing a building, sort of like a design guide that we will distribute to our partners, including Red Cross. We want Red Cross to design a typology that will work. We want the village people to work with designs from AAK that we believe can withstand the adverse weather of high waters. And moving forward, hopefully, we will be seen in the villages and across Kenya. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Architect Rabu. Thanks for representing us in that noble cause. I'd like to make an announcement. There was supposed to be a Mount Longonot climb tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's been cancelled because of the weather. It wouldn't be safe for us to do that tomorrow. However, the cycling is still on. Woo! Yeah, and I think golfing is still available, so they can join you tomorrow, right? Okay. So now it's that time. I'd asked every table to announce, to nominate someone who was best dressed on their table. So could I ask every nominee to stand up, wherever you are? So from this table, From this table? From this table? Katu, they're waking up. Patricia? From this table? Woo! Okay. From that table? Good. From this table? Ah, good. Yes. From that table? From that table? Woo! Sorry, the technical team. Where's the technical? We don't have a technical team. Oh, technical team? Okay. So would like to appreciate all of you. You look very beautiful. Thank you for participating in this competition. We will notify you in due time of your presence. Thank you very much. No, no, no. But thank you very much. Thank you for participating in the convention. I'd like to welcome Madam Olivia Sally to give us our vote of thanks. Thank you. She's the treasurer. She'll talk about the prizes.
Thank you, Mary. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's a very good evening that we have come to the end of not only our gala dinner, but of our convention. It's been a good 2 days. We have interacted, we have had fun, we have walked, we have met zebras. Personally, I got lost last night somewhere inside here when I was driving. I couldn't locate where I was, but it's been a nice experience. So my duty this evening is to give a vote of thanks, and I'd like to start by thanking our chief guest for this evening, Architect Waweru, for the good comments that you have given us and for challenging us. And I think it's a feeling for all of us to support the good cause, the good work that you have begun. And I believe it is our work as professionals in this industry to be able to support them in the work that they are doing. So thank you very much for gracing this evening, the gala dinner. I'd also like to thank our other chief guests who graced the occasion, even yesterday, our Governor for Nakuru, the PS, Dr. Desai, and Senator Sylvia Kasanga, who was here today, plus others who are sent to represent Professor Maringa, and other guests who we had invited. Thank you very much for finding the opportunity and for sharing with us very good comments. Next, I'd like to give a vote of thanks to all our speakers and our panelists. It was not easy. I think, like we were discussing, I think yesterday with Mugure, when you invite speakers to come and present, they just show up, they talk for their 10, 20, 30 minutes, you ask them questions, and then they go wherever they are going. But this one, they had to be called, time differences, recordings, connectivity issues, and they all sacrificed their time, did presentations to be able to share with us something on the topic that we've been learning here. So we are very grateful for the opportunity and for the words that they gave us. all the panelists and all the speakers, those who recorded and even those who are here with us. Also the moderators for the various sessions. It was not easy because they also had to create time and be able to do these recordings. And even the ones who are moderating here, there's a lot of work that went into that. And then we have our awesome partners and sponsors. We were told they are not sponsors anymore, and also exhibitors. Those who are here physically, those who managed to also log in online, we are very grateful for always being able and being willing to support AAK in our events. And we believe that if you're given opportunity to say thanks, you'd also have something to say, because as you support us, we also support your businesses. So don't feel as if it is wasted efforts or wasted energy. Normally, I tell exhibitors and partners that all you need is just one architect who is in this convention, who's going to do a 5 billion project, and you will not remember all the other monies that you have spent, either advertising or marketing and all those things. So it's never in vain. Continue supporting us, and I believe we will also support your businesses as we go along. Also, our public sector representatives from State Department of Public Works, from NCA, from Borax, we are also grateful for the opportunity and for joining us, and also for sending your representatives in big numbers. And of course, we have the AAK executive, exec members led by Madam President Mugure. I mean, please let's give Mugure a big applause. Yeah, Mugure has a team she's always working with, but she's ahead of everything. And I think the work she does is not for granted. And I know, like we always say, even in church setup, nobody here will be able to pay you. Only God will be able to pay you and bless you for the work you're doing. Yeah, so thank you very much. Keep it up. And we continue to work together. And then we also have the secretariat, AAK secretariat, led by Jacob. Where is Jacob? Please also, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much, together with your team, Lina. There's a lady who is not here, Susan. She works very hard. She's the one who, if she decides we are not paying these bills, kila mtu atabaki hapa mkichonga waru. Yeah, so she's working behind the scenes to make sure that we are all safe and all our bills are paid, and we'd like to thank her. And then last but not least, we have the attendees, which is all of us, both physical and virtual. And I'd like us to give ourselves a very big hand of applause for all of us, for sacrificing our time, for risking our lives, because we don't know whether we have picked COVID or not. We've practically risked our lives to come here. Yes, but I mean, life has to move on somehow. So thank you for risking your lives, but I'm sure you had a good time, you learned, you've had fun. I mean, that lockdown was too long. Just being in your house, same space, you could not even move from one point to another. So I believe we've all had fun in that. And then, last but not least, we have the Great Rift Valley Lodge Hotel staff. Please, let's give them a clap. Thank you very much, the chefs, the people who are serving us, for the meals, for the opportunity. I can see there's still a lot of food here. Please let us make sure it is cleared, because whether you eat it or not, we have to pay. So hatutasikia uchungu sana kama mkienda nazo zikiwa kwa tumbo. Yeah, so make sure there's I can see there are still fruits here, there's still food. Let us eat to our fill even as we finish. And then there's an awesome lady that I cannot forget to talk about, Team TM. Vayo and her team, the digital group. Yeah, if it was not for them, we would not be talking about a virtual convention. Yes, they've really worked hard. She had a very big team. There are some of them are there at the corner. You never see them. Wako huko nyuma. Mungu awabariki. And may God continue using you. We are in a digital era now. We've been told to be digital nomads. So this is the team that we need to keep close to be able to help us. Thank you very much. And of course, I'll not forget to thank God who has given all of us life and who gave us the opportunity to come here and to actually take care of us. I believe we are all safe. I believe none of us has picked COVID from here. Even if you do, don't worry. Ni homa tu itaisha. Ukunywe concoction na maji moto, maji ya ndimu, you'll be fine. Yeah, so, and also, I could have forgotten one person, but there's a very, what do I call her? Nisha and Gladys, where is she? Where are they? Thank you, please let's give her a round of applause. Actually, it's her encouragement. She's the one who has encouraged us by getting us various sponsors, organizing the event, making sure everything is running smoothly. She has worked very closely with the Secretariat and the Convention Committee to be able to make sure that this convention is a success, and we have reached where we have reached. And of course, we have the Convention Committee, which is a mix of AEXEC and AAK Secretariat and AAK Council members. Our convener is not here, Mwaniki, but I'd also like to thank him, together with the team, for the work which they have done. So I think I'd like to close at that point. Thank you guys very much. When traveling back to Nairobi, please travel safe, keep safe. Let us not forget to sanitize, social distance, and stay at home if you can. But let us remember to be proactive and to find new ways of doing things, because we have been told there's no going back to normal. Let us find ways of surviving in with the new normal. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night and God bless you.
Thank you very much, our honorary treasurer. So let us just a reminder that our curfew is still at 10. So for those who will be leaving, remember the curfew guidelines. Otherwise, thank you and have a lovely evening. Oh, Dr. Abonyo wants to dance. Mwalimu.
Aboni boni banganga babelela ndoki Utu eindi mokolo ya bandoki bangalaka nzambe Tono etani bakololo nzoto babemi makambo Ngaleli mama, ngaleli papa, ngaleli mama
lolo eh. Babwaki yo wapi eh. Papa lolo eh. Babwaki yo wapi eh. Na mokili bandimaka moto te o osangelaka liaka tuka mokili leka balanda yo e ebale ezanga mikuwa e baboti yo koti na lingomba bandoki bakitiseli yo miso e papa lolo e babwaki yo wapi e papa lolo e babwaki yo wapi e akela mokili atia mpema na mopepe apesa biso mpema topema akela biso neleni nyoka atia biso na bomu ntango nyonso I love you papa lolo babwaki ye wapi papa lolo babwaki ye wapi na mokili bandimaka moto te o osangelaka liaka tuka mokili leka balanda yo e ebale ezanga mikuwa e baboti yo koti na lingomba bandoki bakitiseli yo miso e papa lolo e babwaki yo wapi e papa lolo e babwaki yo wapi e nzambe akela mokili atia mpema na mopepe apesa biso mpema topema akela biso na edeni nyoka atia biso na bombu ntango nyonso I love you papa lolo babwaki yo wapi papa lolo babwaki yo wapi
et les bonheurs récompensent le juste. Faire chair d'épaule